On November 8, 2019, the Chinese film The Beneficiary had its premiere. The movie tells the story of a marriage scam centered around an insurance policy. Coincidentally, that same day, a shocking verdict was announced in a wife murder case on the island of Phuket, Thailand, that made headlines worldwide. Let's rewind to 2018 to explore this case from the very beginning. The crime occurred on Phuket Island, Thailand, a place known as the country's top vacation paradise, with towering jungle-covered mountains, pristine beaches, and crystal-clear waters. In mid-October 2018, a couple from Tianjin, China, 31-year-old Zhang Yifan and his 29-year-old wife, Zhang Jie, were discussing their travel plans. Initially, they wanted to go to the Maldives, but both sides of the family objected. The couple had a daughter who was just over a year old, and their families were concerned that the child was too young and might struggle with the long journey. They suggested that the couple go to Hainan Island, a closer destination for a relaxing vacation. However, 3 days before their scheduled departure, the young couple surprised their families by announcing that they had bought plane tickets to Phuket, Thailand, instead. Their families reluctantly accepted the change of plans. Before they left, Jie's parents gave them 10,000 yuan for travel expenses. At the time, Jie's parents couldn't have known that this would be the last time they would ever see their beloved daughter. On the evening of October 27, 2018, Yifan, his wife, and their daughter set off on their trip, all in high spirits. Early in the morning on the 29th, Jie posted on social media to let everyone know they had arrived safely, along with a picture of their daughter swimming. The caption read, "Vacation mode activated." However, the joyful vacation everyone saw through Jie's eyes was short-lived. On October 30th, Jie's father received a shocking phone call from Yifan's father, informing him that his daughter had drowned in Phuket. The call left Jie's parents utterly devastated. The following morning, October 31st, Yifan returned to Tianjin from Phuket alone with their daughter. He, along with his parents, went to Jie's parents' home. As soon as Yifan stepped inside, he fell to his knees in front of Jie's father, Zhang Rengxian, and her mother, Tang Yue, crying, "I'm sorry, I failed to take care of Jie." The sudden news was unbearable for Jie's parents to accept. Yifan recounted the events of that night to them. After dinner at the hotel, the couple put their daughter to sleep. Then, they both went for a swim in the pool outside their room. After swimming for a while, it began to rain. Yifan told Jie he would check on their daughter, while Jie continued to swim. Feeling exhausted, Yifan said he fell asleep once he got back to the room. When he woke up and went to look for his wife, he found her floating lifeless in the pool. Yifan's account raised doubts for Jie's parents. Their daughter had known how to swim since childhood, so how could she have drowned in a swimming pool? They asked Jie's cousins to search for information about the hotel online. What they discovered was that the hotel pool was only 4.6 feet deep. With Jie's height being 5.2 feet, the water would have only reached her shoulders when standing upright. How could she have drowned in such shallow water? Although they had these suspicions, Jie's parents couldn't bring themselves to believe that their son-in-law had harmed their daughter. At that moment, all they wanted was to get to Thailand as quickly as possible to see their daughter one last time. That same night, Rengxian and Tang Yue, along with Yifan and 7 other relatives, flew to Thailand. They arrived at a hotel in Phuket at 4 a.m. on November 1st. Before they could even rest, Yifan knocked on their door. He knew that the truth would eventually come to light. Yifan entered the room, fell to his knees in front of his in-laws, and confessed everything, begging for their forgiveness. Yifan admitted that he had hit Jie on the day of the incident, but denied killing her. He told Jie's parents, "I bought a life insurance policy worth 17 million yuan, and I'm willing to leave all the money to you to take care of our daughter." However, to the grieving parents, the money meant nothing. No amount of money could ever bring back their daughter's life. At this point, combined with Yifan's strange behavior, Rengxian and Tang Yue couldn't help but suspect that their son-in-law was involved in their daughter's death. That night, they couldn't sleep. Finally, when morning came, Rengxian and Tang Yue were able to see their daughter Jie's body at Patong Hospital in Phuket. With the naked eye, they could see several visible injuries on her body. According to the Thai autopsy report, Jie had multiple injuries, including bruises on both sides of her neck and a fractured fifth rib. Clearly, this was not just a simple accidental drowning. However, Rengxian and his wife did not immediately confront their son-in-law. Instead, they suggested going to the local police station to file a complaint against the well-known Parisa Hotel for negligence. That afternoon, when the group arrived at the police station, Zhang Yifan was immediately detained for questioning. It turned out that on October 30th, the day after the incident, Thai police had already considered Yifan a suspect, but hadn't been able to arrest him because he had quickly returned to China. Now, through a glass partition, Rengxian and his wife saw Yifan shirtless, with multiple wounds visible on his right arm. In the afternoon, Yifan was taken to the hospital by the police. By evening, he was brought back to the station for further interrogation. The Thai police initially suspected that this was a murder, and that the suspect had deliberately held the victim underwater, causing her to drown. At around 3 a.m. on November 2nd, after an overnight interrogation by Thai authorities, Yifan finally confessed to killing his wife, Jie, in the hotel pool. However, the details and motive for the crime were difficult to believe. Regarding his reason for the crime, Yifan claimed, "After checking into the hotel, my wife kept expressing dissatisfaction and scratched me, so in a fit of rage, I acted." Despite the suspect's confession, Thai police began shifting their investigation toward the theory that this was a premeditated murder. That day, the police escorted Yifan to the hotel where the crime had taken place to reenact the events. The hotel was built on a cliff, backed by mountains and facing the sea, offering a high degree of privacy. Each room had its own private pool. It should have been a perfect place to enjoy a relaxing vacation, but instead it became the location where Zhang Jie's life tragically ended. During the reenactment, a female officer played the role of Jie. The police filmed the entire process of Yifan reenacting the crime. In the video, Yifan is seen covering the female officer's mouth and pushing her underwater. After she stopped struggling, he sat on the edge of the pool for a while. Yifan admitted that at 8:50 p.m. that night, he had called the hotel reception pretending to seek help. Then, on November 3rd, the police showed Jie's family the video of the reenactment. In the following days, Yifan attended hearings at the local court and remained under investigation. On November 6th, the police issued a death certificate stating the cause of Jie's death as drowning. So, what was Yifan's real motive for killing his wife? The police suspected that the case might be financially motivated since Yifan had mentioned the 17 million yuan life insurance policy to his in-laws. With this direction in mind, on November 3rd, Rengxian and Tang Yue asked relatives in China to locate the insurance policy to use as evidence for the Thai police. On November 4th, some of Jie's relatives, along with Yifan's family, went to the couple's home to search for the policy. They found 4 life insurance policies hidden in a wedding blanket. All 4 policies were life insurance, and they were as follows. 1. The first life insurance policy was from Fuxing Prudential, signed on June 21, 2018, with a coverage amount of 1.5 million yuan, a 30-year term, and an annual premium of 1,380 yuan. 2. The second life insurance policy was from Tongfan Global Life, purchased on September 5th, with coverage of 8 million yuan, a 20-year term, and an annual premium of 105,000 yuan. 3. The third life insurance policy was from Pacific Life, purchased on September 6th, with coverage of 1 million yuan, a 20-year term, and an annual premium of 1,350 yuan. The fourth life insurance policy was from Sunshine Life, purchased on September 22nd, with a basic coverage of 6.66 million yuan, a 20-year term, and an annual premium of 95,000 yuan. In total, these 4 life insurance policies amounted to 17.1 million yuan in coverage, with annual premiums of approximately 203,000 yuan. According to the contracts, Yifan was the purchaser of the policies, Jie was the insured, and Yifan was the sole beneficiary, with a 100% payout if anything happened to Jie. This meant that if Jie were to die, the entire insurance payout would go directly to Yifan. However, the signatures of the insured on these policies were noticeably inconsistent, with some signatures clearly forged by the purchaser. This suggested that Jie may have been completely unaware that her husband had taken out these insurance policies on her life. Along with these 4 insurance policies, there was a handwritten note suggesting that Yifan may have purchased an additional 5 life insurance policies. Similarly, he bought these policies for Jie, with a total coverage amounting to 4.5 million yuan, where Yifan was the legal beneficiary. Unlike designated beneficiaries, legal beneficiaries include the spouse, children, and parents of the insured. In this case, Yifan would be the primary heir. Another printed statement revealed that Yifan had also purchased 11 more life insurance policies through various online platforms from companies like Hong Kong Life, Huagi Life, Hengxin Life, and Changsheng Life, with coverage amounts ranging from 500,000 to 2 million yuan per policy. The exact purchase dates were unclear. Since buying insurance online is a relatively simple process, it seemed that Yifan had entered a frenzy of insurance buying at that time. Including a final insurance policy worth 5 million yuan from Huaxia Life Insurance, Yifan had purchased a total of 18 life insurance policies, with total coverage reaching 33.2 million yuan, according to available records. In addition to life insurance, Yifan's computer revealed that he had purchased 2 comprehensive accident insurance policies worth 500,000 yuan from Ping An and Taikang, both through the Alipay platform. These insurance policies were later submitted to the Thai police as evidence, indicating that this was a premeditated murder. Clearly, the total insurance amount exceeded 30 million yuan, far more than the 17 million Yifan had initially mentioned. The motive behind this didn't need to be explained further. It was obvious to everyone. Afterward, Rengxian and Tang Yue brought their daughter's body back from Thailand to Tianjin for cremation and burial. They also reported the crime to the Tianjin police. What shocked everyone was how this young couple, who had always seemed to love each other deeply in the eyes of others, ended up with such a tragic outcome. Both families were well off in their local community. So, what could have driven Yifan to become so ruthless to the point of killing his wife to cash in on insurance money? Yifan and Jie met through an introduction by a colleague. They got married in May 2016, with Yifan being 2 years older than Jie. At the time of their marriage, they were considered a well-matched couple. Yifan's father was a military officer in Tanggu District, Tianjin, and Jie's father, along with relatives, ran a prosperous seafood restaurant. Both families were from Tianjin, owned multiple properties, and had no financial concerns. At the time of the wedding, Jie brought a dowry of 800,000 yuan in cash. Yifan's family purchased a home on the banks of the Haihei River in Tianjin as their marital home. From their parents' perspective, even if the couple didn't have jobs, they could live comfortably with support from both families. Even looking back 2.5 years later, Rengxian and Tang Yue still felt that Yifan seemed perfectly normal at the time. They accepted him as their son-in-law because he came from a good family, had a stable job, and didn't smoke, drink, or have bad habits. Moreover, since Yifan and Jie were introduced by a colleague, they approved of the relationship. Especially when Jie became pregnant, they often saw Yifan taking care of her, from meals to daily routines. In April 2018, Yifan suggested buying another home in a school district to prepare for their child's future education. To meet the requirements for purchasing the home, the young couple went through a fake divorce, as a divorce could reduce the down payment. When Rengxian and Tang Yue found out, they gave the couple 600,000 yuan to help them quickly remarry and buy the home. Yifan's father also contributed 1.1 million yuan. Together, both families provided 1.7 million yuan, enough to fully purchase the home. However, after checking the bank account, Rengxian and Tang Yue discovered that the 800,000 yuan dowry in their daughter's account had dwindled to just a few hundred yuan. On the new home purchase contract from April, not only was Yifan's name the sole one listed, But they also saw that the couple had taken out an additional loan of 600,000 yuan. It was unclear where the rest of the money had gone. At this point, Rengxian and Tang Yue began reviewing the couple's daily spending records. They soon uncovered over 30 credit card statements belonging to their son-in-law Yifan, showing suspicious charges. From November 2017 to June 2018, there were numerous instances of extravagant spending and large unclear debt repayments. For example, on February 22, 2018, Yifan spent 8,800 yuan at a spa club in Shanghai. Starting in July, Yifan's Guangfa Bank credit card frequently made payments to Kaifutong, Fangxing Online Mall, and Kugou Guangzhou Technology Company. Each transaction was at least a few hundred yuan, with several thousand yuan being spent regularly. Over time, the spending increased. For instance, on July 17th, he spent 2,000 yuan. On July 18th, there were 2 charges of 1,000 yuan each. On July 24th, 3 charges of 1,000 yuan, and on July 29th, a charge of 3,000 yuan. On August 11th, he spent 3,000 yuan. On August 20th, he spent 11,200 yuan. And on August 27th, he spent another 3,000 yuan, 3,200 yuan. By September, he had withdrawn 2 amounts of 10,000 yuan via Wanglian. Further investigation revealed that Fangxing Online Mall and Kugou were actually the same company, involved in live streaming. In combination with the discovery of 158 gigabytes of explicit videos on Yifan's computer by Jie's family, it became clear that Yifan had been spending large sums of money on gifts for female streamers, producing explicit content on this platform. In September 2018 alone, Yifan's Guangfa credit card had accumulated 63,600 yuan in charges. Between October 2nd and October 5th, in just 4 days, his Guangfa card recorded an additional 64,500 yuan in spending. The police later uncovered that the recipient of Yifan's lavish gifts was a female streamer from Fujian. She told the police that Yifan started watching her streams in August 2018. By the end of September, in just over a month, he had gifted her over 300,000 yuan and sent her several cash transfers, with the largest being 8,888 yuan in a single transaction. Yifan had told her that he worked in finance, was divorced, and had a daughter. He made it clear that he was interested in pursuing her and even showed screenshots of his account balance with 1 million yuan to prove he had money. He repeatedly asked to meet her and even used the pretense of sending fruit to gift her a Louis Vuitton bag. When asked about her impression of Yifan, the streamer described his behavior as extreme and obsessive. In her streaming room, he was generous but very controlling. He would call her constantly at all hours, which she found harassing, and eventually, she blocked him. Additionally, Jie's family discovered that Yifan had opened accounts in Tanggu and Fuzhou, with records of high-end spending at a Fuzhou cosmetics counter. They suspected that Yifan was involved in an extramarital affair. On August 17th, Yifan spent 1,000 yuan at the Zhangguo Binhai Hotel in Tianjin. On September 20th, he made 3 transactions at a jewelry store in Tianjin through a POS machine, spending 32,000 yuan, 48,000 yuan, and 50,000 yuan, respectively. Then, in October, he secretly traveled to Fuzhou, where he spent 4,200 yuan at Sephora and the Hilton Hotel, as well as 658 yuan for a car rental from Shenzhou. So, who were these expenses for? Yifan, with no job income, was living a lavish lifestyle, buying luxury goods and making extravagant gifts. How could a small family sustain such financial depletion? After exhausting their wealth, Yifan, in a desperate attempt to secure the life he desired, devised a reckless plan to kill his wife and collect the insurance money. Rengxian and Tang Yue firmly believed their daughter knew nothing about this. After their marriage, Jie didn't suspect or question her husband. She loved him deeply, making cute phone wallpapers of Yifan, giving him sweet nicknames on WeChat, and telling her friends that she found him adorable. For the first 6 months after their child was born, the family of 3 lived with Jie's parents. Later, Yifan's mother suffered a stroke, making it inconvenient to continue living at Jie's parents' home, so they moved in with Yifan's parents. Even though Zhang Renxian and his wife were a bit concerned about their daughter leaving all the financial management to Yifan, they didn't want to interfere with the young couple's relationship, so they let it be. In hindsight, this might have been the seed of disaster. To outsiders, the couple seemed to be living a sweet, happy life. But in reality, after they got married, Yifan gradually revealed his violent tendencies. He had smashed phones and even broken the windshield of a family car. This behavior was likely rooted in his professional struggles. After their marriage, aside from a brief stint working at an insurance company, Yifan was mostly unemployed. However, he didn't share this with either side of the family. He pretended to have a job, going to work with his wife in the morning and coming home together in the evening, acting as though he was employed. In other words, aside from financial support from their parents, the family mostly lived on Jie's modest salary of just over 5,000 yuan. Even the Phuket trip was financed using her credit card. In this marriage, Jie seemed to silently shoulder most of the burdens. Out of consideration for her husband's pride, she never told her parents about their true financial situation. Second, the court ruled that the argument of killing in a fit of anger was not credible. After the incident, Yifan attempted to cover up the murder, repeatedly lying and hiding the truth. He held the victim's head underwater multiple times, with the final submersion lasting for 3 minutes. After the victim lost consciousness, he returned to the room, leaving her to drown in the pool. More than 20 minutes later, he dragged the victim out of the pool and placed her by the edge. Yifan's actions and behavior led the judge to believe that there was no argument or confrontation between Yifan and the victim, and that Jie was killed while she was completely defenseless. Therefore, there was no basis for the claim that the murder was committed in a moment of anger. Third, Yifan's defense that he had no intention of killing his wife to collect insurance money was rejected by the court. Shortly before the incident, Yifan had taken out numerous life insurance policies in a short period of time, with coverage totaling over 30 million yuan, and he was the sole beneficiary. The victim's parents were unaware of these policies. Moreover, the annual premiums were exceptionally high, far exceeding the combined income of Yifan and Jie. This was clearly unusual. To successfully claim the insurance payout, Yifan falsified income certificates and forged the victim's signature. Additionally, the court concluded that Yifan had been unfaithful to his wife and spent beyond his means, leading him to plan her murder in order to collect the substantial insurance money. These were inhumane actions. Considering all the facts and evidence of the case, the court decided to change Yifan's sentence to the death penalty. In court, Yifan announced that he would appeal to the Supreme Court. However, we believe that justice will ultimately prevail and the murderer will face severe punishment. Although Yifan is set to serve his sentence in Thailand, Zhang Jie's family hopes to have him extradited to China to face Chinese law as soon as possible. They have since hired a lawyer in Thailand and submitted an extradition request to the Chinese embassy in Thailand. However, extradition involves complex legal procedures and jurisdiction between two countries, so thus far the request has not been successful. We will update you on any new developments in this case as they arise. What are your thoughts on this case? Share your opinions in the comments section below the video. Goodbye, and see you next time.